All right, welcome to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and I'm hoping that we're back on the air. I'm hoping we're back on Facebook today, and I don't know if that happened yesterday. I don't know what happened yesterday, but we're going to get to that in a little while. So, by the way, today is October 5th, and just a reminder, if you like the show, please hit the share button. Matter of fact, hit the share button right now. Hit the like button. Of course, you can comment during the show on YouTube and on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing, stock options trading, and you'll learn it from those who do it every day. All right, today's show, we're going to be talking about the market update, and what a day it was. It was a really nice day. We're going to talk about the fact that Facebook is back up. I'm there. Can you see me? Hello in Facebook land. Can everybody see me? We're going to be talking about some striking oil stocks, the debt ceiling, J&J's booster shot, Windows 11, and then we'll talk a little bit about the wrap-up. All right. So today was a good day. I love days like this. It was a nice day, but the real question is it going to hold? And today, the Dow finished up about 312 points, the S&P up 45 points, and the NASDAQ 178 points, which is pretty good, especially when you consider yesterday's mess, right? Because yesterday was pretty bad for a little while. Here's an interesting thing. Netflix led the way today as it rose 36 points or 6% as they continue to break new ground with video games online. So basically, Netflix is going to video games. This is one stock I don't understand it. It's always been kind of weird. It always trades for a ridiculous multiple, but it appears to be making the mark with new technology and new subscribers. So when the multiple gets ridiculous, and I've seen it as high as 300 or 400, it's now about 67, which isn't bad. I found it interesting that they continue to grow even with crazy multiples like that. All right, speaking of crazy multiples and speaking of crazy stocks and speaking of crazy things, hello, is there anybody out there? Hey, Facebook, can you hear me today? Can you see me today? Hey, if you're on Facebook, leave a comment that says you can see me. Hey, as we discussed yesterday, although no one was watching because Facebook was out, Facebook just can't get a break. Everyone is beginning to hate them. And also, as you know, we've been discussing the Wall Street Journal series called The Facebook Files, and just as it got boring, a new development was brought to our attention. And of course, speaking of attention, a former employee of Facebook, Frances Haugen, is cited as the whistleblower and for the information that the Wall Street Journal has been writing about. She's a former product manager who's been hired to help Facebook protect against, and I quote, voter fraud. Yeah, right, okay. Today she testified before a Senate Consumer Protection Panel, and she talked about how Facebook was evil and mean, and it's so bad for children. I mean, come on. Look, it's Facebook. It's Facebook. I mean, seriously, it's Facebook. You put stuff on Facebook, people respond to it, and it's bad for children. First of all, just so you understand, Facebook, you're not allowed to have an account unless you're 13 or above anyway. But I realize that everyone's cheating and they're doing it anyway. But it's Facebook. How much harm could Facebook have? Well, they've figured out that it's harmful for everyone. First of all, it's extremely harmful for you and I because we're all addicted to it. I mean, I see everybody on Facebook right now commenting that they're seeing me on Facebook, which means they're addicted to it too. Anyway, the Wall Street Journal series discussed the fact that she was surprised by what she found. The journal series is based in part of the documents she gathered, as well as interviews with current and former employees, describes how the company's rules favor elites, how its algorithms foster discord, that's interesting, and how drug cartels and human traffickers use its services openly. An article about Instagram's effects on teenage girls' mental health was the impetus for the Senate subcommittee hearing last week, in which lawmakers described the disclosures as a bombshell. Okay, I got to go back and read this again. Okay, so hold on. Here you go. You ready? Okay. You ready? Check this out. How its algorithms foster discord and how drug cartels and human traffickers use its services openly. However, what made the Senate subcommittee hearing last week was the fact that teenage girls, they don't feel secure because they look at other teenage girls and they're dressed so nice. This is the world we live in, folks. All right, anyway, the subcommittee today called for strengthening privacy and competition laws, special online protections for children, more transparency into social media algorithms, and toughening of the platform's accountability. I write things like, Nancy Pelosi is not great. Well, I have to tell you some of the things I wrote. I can't remember what they were, but it was so stupid, and they banned me, but they won't ban the human traffickers. Anyway, it looks like the hearing Facebook stock popped about 2.5% after yesterday's decline of about 5.5%. Clearly, it means that Ms. Hagen got her attention, and the stockholders believe nothing major is going to change for the company, or will any real regulation be coming forth soon. And I totally believe that. I think that nothing's going to happen out of this. It's just, she got her attention, she broke her NDA, and now she's going to be sued by Facebook in a couple of months as the damage goes down. But we'll see. By the way, as I said yesterday, Facebook is a great stock play into earnings, and I expect it to go to the 370 to 380 range in the next 2 weeks. And I'll be honest with you, at this price, in the 335 range, I am definitely a buyer. So if you missed out on it, you still have time, because I think Facebook is still going to pop. Facebook's going to do fine into earnings, no doubt in my mind. All right, let's talk a little bit about oil stocks. Hey, have you noticed anything different at the gas pumps lately? No. I'm not talking about the cute girl in the Mustang convertible. I'm talking about the price of gasoline. So West Texas Intermediate, the U.S. oil benchmark, rose 2.1% to 79.22%. I'm sorry, 79.22 a barrel, its highest level since 2014. Brent crude, the international benchmark, climbed 2% to 82.89 a barrel, its highest level since 2018. Natural gas prices are also soared on concerns about a shortfall in stockpiles heading into winter. U.S. gas futures rose 7.5% to 6.9 million British thermal units. It looks like it's going to be an expensive heating season this winter, so if you are heating with anything, you're going to be sorry. With all that being said, have you looked at the oil stocks lately? Because that's really what this is all about. Some of the top companies are reaching new one-year highs. Oxy hit a new high of 33.5 today, which is great. ExxonMobil is heading back to its June high of 65-ish, and Halliburton is also headed for its June high of about 25. Look, these are all good plays as the Democrats hash out the infrastructure bill that's basically going to cause gas prices and, of course, taxes to skyrocket. So if you want to play these plays, play them into the infrastructure bill. I think it'll be fantastic. Also, as the only thing I might have to say is a stock options trader, they might be played out temporarily. So wait for them to go down a little bit. And they're all paying dividends, and Exxon is paying a nice dividend of 5.5% yield, which makes it a really great buy and hold stock. So if you're a buy and hold stockholder, yeah, something like that, then you might want to consider ExxonMobil. I think it's a great play for you. All right, let's take a quick break, and we will be back in a couple minutes.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start. Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse, and we're back on Facebook. I'm so excited people are actually saying they can see me today because, yesterday we did the show and nobody watched it. We actually did the show and nobody watched it. So if you want to go back on YouTube and you watch it, you can actually watch it. All right, so far we've been discussing the market update and how nice it is that the Dow was up at one point over 500 points today. That was pretty nice. It finished up about 312, which is pretty good. The S&P about 45, and the NASDAQ 179. We also talked about how Facebook is back. Obviously, it's back up, but it's also the whistleblower and her whatever, strive for attention. Who really cares? It doesn't really matter. She's not going to do anything. We talked about the fact that oil stocks are going to be going up, and coming up, We've got the debt ceiling to discuss, J&J's booster shots, and Windows 11 debut. So let's talk a little bit about the debt ceiling. So Senate Democrats facing the threat of a default on the nation's financial obligation in as little as 2 weeks headed into a closed-door lunch to weigh the question of whether to reconsider their approach for raising the borrowing limit on the face of no GOP help. So remember, they went to lunch over this. So I'm wondering if they put that on the credit cards, that if they raise the debt ceiling, they can now pay for that lunch. Or, did one of them actually say, hey, I'll take care of this because we don't want to bankrupt the country? Well, we already know the answer to that question. Republicans protesting Democrats' separate spending ambitions indicated that they continue to stand united in blocking Democrats from advancing a debt ceiling increase, which needs 60 votes to move forward in the 50-50 Senate. So the Republicans are going to block this, and look, clearly I'm not a Democrat, and clearly I don't even know if I want to call myself a Republican anymore because of what's going on in the country. But if I'm going to lean anyway, I'm going to lean towards Republican. But I don't care who you are, guys, Democrats, Republicans. I'm sorry, but you're going to continue to get paid if you don't raise the debt ceiling. You're going to continue to live your life, and you're going to screw everybody else. So just raise the damn debt ceiling and move on already. Janet Yellen is also screaming up and down that it must be passed, or the debt ceiling must be passed, to avoid insolvency and a possible recession. Now I'm a little confused here. If getting into more debt stops insolvency and a recession, why don't we all get more credit cards and solve all our problems? Maybe we can even get Dave Ramsey to start telling people that debt is good. After all, it's how the government solves its financial problems, isn't it? Republicans say that Democrats who control the White House and both chambers of Congress have worked to advance trillions in new spending without Republican support. The GOP won't give Democrats any easy way to increase the borrowing limit. So basically, the Democrats have to make the decision by themselves. I like this idea. First of all, if they have all this control, let them use it. Secondly, if they think it's the way to solve the money problems, let them own it when it all comes crashing down like a house of cards. My belief is, once again, this will be passed. By the way, I think the Republicans will actually go, okay, fine, we'll do it, leave us alone. But anyway, it'll be passed and the debt ceiling will be raised. Who's going to pay for this? And of course, the monster infrastructure bill. You want to know the truth? Who really cares? We already know the Democrats are going to tax the rich, and the rich are the people who go to work every day and make ends meet. No, not the billionaires who could care less anyway, but you and I who try to provide for our family and make life better for others. Either way, I don't care because of what I learned. I learned all the ways to lower my tax burden, and in fact, I teach it weekly at Investor Schooling. So if you want to learn how to do that, I'll be more than happy to teach you too. Let's talk about the J&J booster shot. J&J is planning to ask U.S. federal regulators this week to authorize a booster shot of its COVID-19 vaccine, the New York Times reported on Monday. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration said it scheduled an October 15th meeting of its expert advisory committee to discuss whether to grant the emergency use authorization of a booster shot of J&J's vaccine. So, if you guys want to know whether this is going to be authorized or not, just go on the panel and see which ones in the panel own J&J stock, and that will give you the answer to the question, because if they all own J&J stock, of course they're going to authorize it because J&J is going to pop 3-4 points that day. If you recall, Merck last week announced a pill for treatment of COVID, and that caused many of the vaccine company stocks like Moderna and Pfizer to go down. But I'm going to tell you right now, I like J&J at this point. It's a great play at this numbers. I think it's right around 160-ish. And I'm thinking that 168 is going to be where it's going to go. And I think that will make total sense. On a side note, I think it's pretty funny that, the one-shot company now has 2 shots, and the 2-shot company now has 3 shots. Yeah, as I said yesterday, it's always about following the money. If we can't sell the rest of the world on the idea of getting the shot, let's go back to our customer base and sell them another product called the booster shot. So if there are people out there who don't want the shots, that's not their customer base. Their customer base are the people who got the shots. So let's give them another shot so they buy more. Now I realize that these are free, but they're not really free if they're paid for by your insurance company and the government. So now you can get it for free, but the shot companies are getting the money. All right, let's talk about Windows 11. Microsoft Windows Microsoft released Windows 11 today, and ho-hum, it isn't all that big of a difference. But the first thing you would notice is the start button is in the middle instead of the left corner. I'm so glad they did that, because I really hated the start button in the left corner. I want it right in the middle, right in the center of everything that I do. Who cares? Really? All right. Some of the icons look prettier, and the screen looks a bit brighter because of the color combinations. So it'll look a little bit different, but basically, it's not really that big of a deal. But according to some reports, the operating system is a bit slower, but it runs great on the Microsoft Surface. Huh. I wonder what Microsoft is trying to tell us here. Well, look, Apple's been doing it for years. You can only get their operating system on their machines. So maybe it's time that Microsoft says, hey, we're going to make you buy our machines too. If you want to, you could check out the new operating system and see if your old dinosaur computer, you know, the one you bought 6 months ago, is eligible for a upgrade by going to Microsoft.com and downloading the PC Health Check app. As for me, I'm going to wait, because I've noticed this trend with Microsoft Windows, and it goes something like this. There's nothing wrong with your computer, so we have an update to solve that problem. You guys who get those notices regularly, know exactly what I'm talking about. As far as Microsoft stock goes, I see a possible drop here because there's really no catalyst to move it forward. The positive side is all the people upgrading, and the negative side is all the people upgrading. Okay, just kidding, but the new PCs will already have this installed, so it doesn't bring any new revenue and the older PCs, by the way, it's free anyway, so you get a free update anyway. So it really doesn't give you any new revenue, but there's a possible catalyst that may bring the stock price up. It's the new App Store and the apps in the App Store. Yeah, second thought, probably not, because, you know, with hundreds and thousands of apps, no one really cares what the App Store looks like. And basically, most people now, the creators of apps, are giving you direct links to download them anyway, so it may not work. So I'm thinking it's probably not going to do that much for the stock. In fact, it may even go down. So there you go. All right. So here you go. I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a minute. Investor schooling needs a new slogan.
Investor schooling? Never heard of.
Investor schooling?
Never heard of them.
Investor schooling? Never heard of them.
Any suggestions? Phil?
Investor schooling. We never heard of you either.
Investor Schooling. We never heard of you either. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
Investor schooling. Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling? Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling?
Those guys are everywhere.
Investor Schooling. Those guys are everywhere. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And while the commercial was on, I was watching on CNBC. I was watching Elizabeth Warren, you know, screaming up and down, you know, Pocahontas. She's been screaming up and down about how the Fed is corrupt. Yeah, and? I'm sorry, you didn't know that? What's the matter? You were left out of the loop? They haven't given you your VIG this month or something, and you're complaining about it? I mean, seriously, the Fed is corrupt? I mean, the Fed, who makes the policies, is allowed to buy stocks on the policies that they're making? By the way, you are also doing that, Elizabeth Warren. So don't lie. Don't be a hypocrite. And everyone else out there, including Nancy Pelosi, is making money on the same exact policies. So shut up, get off the screen, go away. All right, so far we've been talking about some other things like the market update, the fact that the market is kicking butt today. Facebook is back, and I don't think this whistleblower who wanted some attention is going to do anything to hurt Facebook. We talked about the debt ceiling, the J&J booster shot, and Windows 11. And today, if you saw, it was a great dead cat bounce. So you guys know what a dead cat bounce is? If you don't know, let me tell you what it is. It's real simple. Even a dead cat bounces if you throw it off the roof. So that is what a dead cat bounce is. That's what happened yesterday. We dropped 500 something points. We made it up today. All right, here you go. Facebook and Apple, I still think these are a great plays. Facebook was up about 8 points today at one point, and Apple was up about 3 points at one point. And I'm telling you, these are great plays. I also think Pinterest and Uber, I'd like to see Uber drop just a point or two, and I'd be all over it. The airline and cruise stocks is still the recovery play as we enter the end of Biden's Twilight Zone marathon with his masks and vaccines. I hope that it's going to happen by the spring of next year, and I'm hoping that you'll have the freedom to live your life again, maskless and vaccine choiced. By the way, Hood and Coin are also going to move higher as the crypto market moves higher. And it was reported today that some analysts were seeing crypto moving higher, and today's numbers are definitely showing that. By the way, speaking of crypto, my call last week on Shiba, if you guys remember Shiba, so I bought this crypto, it was 7 millionth of a cent. So it was 7 millionth of a cent. So since I bought it last week and talked to you about it, it's actually up 150% since I bought it. Like, I'm actually thinking I wish I threw a couple of $100,000 into this thing, but, you know, that could have been really dangerous. But it's up 150% since I bought it, and I'm riding it out because my goal is if this thing goes to 1 penny, if it goes to 1 penny from where it is now, it goes to 1 penny, I will make $2.75 million. I'm pretty excited about that. That's pretty wild. All right. All right. By the way, this and other great tips have been generated from this show. Keep watching. Use the ideas and information on this show to grow your portfolio and grow your net worth, and of course, to be entertained. I want to thank you again for watching Money Chat Now. Hit that share button, hit that like button, share it with everybody you know, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. From time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show. Yeah, right. Sure, I totally lost it there. By the way, the opinions discussed in this show is solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. I look forward to your continued support of Money Chat Now, and I will see you tomorrow at 4:03.